mexicano. Tenemos el mar y tierra, una mezcla de carne y mariscos. También tenemos burrito California, está gigante para llenarte bien, chimichangas bañadas de queso y mucho más. Visítanos en el 2144 50 Highway en Puria, Kansas, o márcanos al 620-342-7547 para tomarte tu orden. Y recuerda, del sabor mexicano lo tiene El Lorito Restaurante. Te esperamos.
¿Cansado de pagar altas comisiones por tarjetas de crédito? Con Clover POS y descuento por pago en efectivo, puedes quedarte con más dinero en cada venta. Acepta pagos donde sea, controla tus ventas y maneja tu negocio de forma fácil y rápida. Además, puedes reducir o incluso eliminar las comisiones ofreciendo descuento a clientes que pagan en efectivo. Más ahorro, más control, más ganancias para ti. ¿Te estás preparando para el mundial? Pues Clover somos los indicados. Te podemos hasta ayudar a conseguir un préstamo para tu negocio. Así que llámame aquí a la oficina para poder agendar tu cita. Mi nombre es Jessica, 816-988-7641.
You looking for real Mexican food? Taqueria Hernandez, we open now at 1016 Northwest Wood Chapel Road. Come and visit us, Taqueria Hernandez Mexican Restaurant and Bar. We open for you. Don't miss our specials. Tuesday, we got tacos and margarita. Yes, you heard. Tuesdays, we got tacos and black margarita ounce special. And don't miss the Thursdays. We got burrito chips and dips and your beer drop. Thursdays, we got burrito chips and dips and your beer drop. Don't miss it. Every special of the week. Come and visit us at 1016 Northwest Wood Chapel Road, Blue Spring, Missouri. We got a patio in case you want to eat outside or you can eat inside. Come and visit us. Don't miss it. Taqueria Hernandez. We open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Taqueria Hernandez.
La City Super Buffet, el buffet más rico en todo Kansas y Missouri. Contamos con un menú de comida china, sushi y también comida mexicana. También contamos con una parrilla para que cocines tu propia comida. Estamos ubicados en el 756 US 40 East Blue Spring, Missouri. Horarios de 10 de la mañana a 10 p.m. Abrimos todos los días, así como hoy es todos los días. China City Super Buffet te invita a que nos visites. Recuerda, 756 US 40 East Blue Spring, Missouri. China City Super Buffet, el buffet más rico en todo Kansas y Missouri.
¿El banco te dijo que no? ¿Pero sabes que tu negocio sí tiene potencial? ¿No tienes crédito? Te ayudamos a subirlo al nivel de los 700 puntos. ¿No tienes crédito? Te ayudamos a subirlo al nivel de los 700 puntos. ¿Ya tienes crédito pero te falta el capital para escalar tu negocio? Te conseguimos desde $50,000 hasta $500,000. Sin tanto papeleo. Con SoftPool, sin dañar tu puntaje. Aprobación en 24 a 48 horas. Aplica ahora en el enlace. Y después escribime directo al WhatsApp 6203-334-085 para atención personal. Lux Consulting. El combustible para tu imperio.
Taqueria Hernández te invitan a que los visites a sus 3 locaciones que tienen para ti, para que pruebes esa famosa pizza birria. También cuentan con tacos, tortas, burritos, quesadillas, quesabirrias, sopes, chicken wings con papas, chicken nuggets con papas y su famosa pizza birria. Visítalos en el 1901 Park Drive, Kansas City, Kansas. Márcales al 816-777-6164. Segunda ubicación, Mero Ena 18 y Central Avenida, Mero en la esquina, o márcales al 816-352-4863. Y la tercera locación, mi gente, está en el 5900 San John Avenue, Kansas City, Missouri. Márcales al 816-526-5334. Horario de 5 p.m. hasta la 1 de la madrugada. Visita Taqueria Hernández con su famosa pizza birria y todos podrán hacer pizza, pero ninguno como ellos. Taqueria Hernández.
Escucha, Fuego Urbano Radio Station. Estás escuchando Fuego Urbano Radio Station. Fuego Urbano, nos fuimos. Escucha, Fuego Urbano Radio Station. En Facebook y regálanos un like. Sigue Fuego Urbano Radio en Facebook y regálanos un like. Fuego Urbano Radio Station.
What up, family? This is Monster Sound DJ. Welcome to a different kind of space here on Fuego Urbano Radio. El Saoco del Barrio is here with you today. And today we're turning down the music for a little bit to talk about a much deeper melody, the melody of life itself. We are live here from Emporia with a story that breaks the silence. Joining me to my left, or no, to my right. To my right is a leader of sales and a resident co-host, Lily, because today we have a special guest who has walked the bigger stages of life in the world. Here's to reveal what's happening when the curtains are closed. We're talking about Pastor mcguire or Chasing Mickey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A man who went from being an international opera star to a spiritual guide here in our community. And today he's telling us what was it like to run and hide in plain sight until he found his true treasure. Mick, Lily, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Mick, this is like the second or third time that you come on the show with us. We did some work a couple of years ago already.
Yeah. We did some work on a campaign that I unfortunately didn't win, but that's okay because we learned from our losses, and we continue to grow, and we continue to be positive in our losses and in helping the community.
Yeah. So, what after we did that? What you went up to? What you been up to?
Well, actually, what I've been up to is writing this book for the last couple of years. This is what I have been doing: is writing this book. It's called Chasing Mickey, running and hiding in plain sight until I uncovered a treasure. And the subtitle, the further subtitle, is Overcoming Childhood Sexual Abuse. And it is obviously not a topic that you cover here on your radio program, but it is a topic, unfortunately, that I think our community, our nation, the world needs to talk about, because it is as much a pandemic as COVID was.
It sure is.
And so, even though it's an unfortunate topic, I think that we need to talk about it.
Yeah. So tell me what make you write this book in the first place?
Okay. Well, in the first place, a dear friend of mine who has since passed away, he told me that he thought it would be interesting. My life was interesting. And he said, I think people need to hear your story. I told him that I thought he was crazy. But I said, if you pay me $1 million, I'll write it. But he didn't pay me the $1 million, so we wrote it anyway. And we spent about 2 years putting the story together. And like I say, unfortunately, he passed away. And but we got it written. We put a manuscript in his hand before he passed away. And we've got some pictures of him holding that manuscript. But so he was the kind of like the motivation behind it. And I said, okay, I agree to write it, but it has to help at least one person, because otherwise the book will just be. I called it unnecessary regurgitation. The younger generation, or maybe not so young generation, would go, because it really is. It's not a pleasant topic to talk about, but unfortunately, like I say, it is a topic that we need to talk about. We need to bring it out in the open.
Yeah. So you say 2 years. When is the book out officially?
Well, the book is actually out officially now.
Okay.
People can purchase it online via Lulu, or they can call me or contact me.
Lulu.com?
Lulu.com. And they can probably just, Google Chasing Mickey, and that's probably enough to find it on Lulu.com. And just some particulars. The book costs $20.
As you can see, this is a very high quality book. We've been reading it, and it really is like a whole book. So they really did a great job
Putting
it together with all of the pictures and everything. How many chapters does it have completely? Because I'm on number
32. 5. Is it 32?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. See, there's a complete book, and it's the soft cover, right?
Soft cover.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It doesn't come in ebook form yet, although I was trying to put that out soon.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be out soon, but it is not yet. The book costs $20, but just so you know, even though it costs $20, I don't make any money from it. I'm not taking any money from it. So any profit, so to speak, any proceeds from the book go to SOS here in Emporia, Kansas. And so far, the book costs about a little over $7 to print for somebody. And then a little bit of mailing costs go into that. And so SOS gets about $10 a book when they buy it from Lulu. If they buy it from me, SOS does get $10 a book.
Okay, so that's a pretty good cause and a good association. It's not a company, is it?
SOS is a nonprofit that deals specifically with domestic violence.
Right.
And people who have been abused.
So it's only fitting that they would get profits from the book. That's really commendable. Make up to that.
And when my friend and I talked about it, he and I agreed that would be the most logical place for the proceeds to go.
It makes sense. So make sure you support that cause. The money stays within the community, so that's really great. Mick, you start the book with a prodigy moment, singing Jingle Bells at age 4. Why was it important to start with that specific memory of joy before diving into the heavier theme of trauma?
I think the best way to describe it is that was my debut, so to speak. That was the first time that I ever sang in front of any kind of public, any kind of audience. And even though I was only 4 years old, I sang Jingle Bells. And I can remember the sensation, if you will. I can remember the moment. And I can remember what I describe in the book as the innocence of that 4-year-old child. And I call it the innocence, pure and holy, the joy of that. And unfortunately, it wasn't long after that when the abuse came into my life, and that destroyed that innocence. And so recapturing not that moment, but recapturing the innocence, recapturing the joy, recapturing the purity of that child.
It must have been really impactful since you really recall that feeling in the moment. And I feel exactly what you felt, because I went through the same thing. I can recall the first time I danced in front of people, and it was about 4 years old. So I know how much of an impact that leaves.
Yeah. There is a joy there that never leaves you.
Yeah.
I mean, you might forget it. You might not think about it every day, but when you think about it, it captures you, and you can feel that, you can experience it, and it just brings you a sense of goodness.
It sure does, and it takes you back. Like, man, I can recall it. See, look at my skin.
Yeah, you're getting goosebumps, aren't you?
Yeah. It has been so long. It's just like that moment. It just like marks you for life.
And the thing about it is that I have learned that as I have come through, I'm now 70 years old. I don't mind telling people that. I am still healing from that trauma. And I have found that it is so important to hold on to those moments. Even though that was 66 years ago, it is so important for me to hold on to that joyful moment that of that child singing Jingle Bells, you know, when I was 4.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got a question, Lily?
Yeah, Mick, how did the early success behind a microphone influence your decision to use music as your fourth wall later in life?
The fourth wall. Maybe I should explain the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Because the fourth wall was important. Now, I cannot say that when I was growing up, I understood it as a fourth wall. But as I reflected, as I was writing this book, I realized that I had to protect myself from my abuser. And so I had to hide myself. And what I did was I protected myself in whatever way I could. And I would use the backyard with friends, a playground. And all of a sudden, I found that music, it actually became a fourth wall. And what I mean by a fourth wall was that I could block out the noise. I could block out the music became something that my mind could bring peace in my heart and in my mind. And fortunately, I was given talent and I was given a voice. And so I really just dove into music, and it became that fourth wall. And what I mean by a fourth wall, when I was singing, when I was performing, when I was on stage, you know, nobody could touch me. Make sense? I mean, my abuser couldn't touch me. You know, nobody could touch me because I was behind my fourth wall. So I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
I hope I did. Thank you.
So the title is Chasing Mickey. Is Mickey a version of yourself you think you finally caught, or is the chase for that innocence still going on today?
Well, I wish I could say I caught it. I wish I could say I that I caught it. I can say that every once in a while I feel like I'm catching up. But Mickey's a really quick kid. You know, he's 4 years old. I'm 70. Have you ever chased a little kid around? I got grandkids. I can't, I can't catch up with my grandkids anymore. So chasing Mickey is like chasing a toddler, and it's just. But every once in a while, I catch up with it. What I've also learned though is that I have to capture those moments, like the 4-year-old child singing Jingle Bells. If you have time for a story, this happened at the playground down at Peter Pan Park just recently.
Okay.
I was playing with my grandchildren, and one of them started playing with these chime-like bells down there. Just these round chime-like bells. And she started ringing them. And then she decided, okay, that's enough of that. And she went over and she started climbing this ladder to go up. And so I had to watch her. And then I'm serious. And she's only 2. She's all going to turn 3. And I kid you not, all of a sudden she's climbing this ladder and she starts singing, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell. And I almost started crying right there, because here's this little child, and it's it's not winter. It's not even close to Christmas.
Mhm.
And here's the child. And it's because she had just rang those bells, you know, on the wall. And she jingle, and she can hardly pronounce the words. And the words are jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, the fun it did to, you know, she can't even really, but all of a sudden I almost started crying because I saw in her the joy of singing that. And I captured that. I even wrote about it. And, you know, that's part of one of those things that I capture. And so I almost caught Mickey that day. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In my grandchild.
That's a catchy song.
That's a catchy song.
Even a 2-year-old.
Everybody should sing Jingle Bells.
Yeah.
Every day.
Even a 2-year-old. Man, that's
Even
amazing.
A 2-year-old.
You talk about William Ellen White Elementary as a magnet school that kept pulling you back. How did witnessing racism against your friend Charles shape your moral compass before you even had the words for it?
Oh my gosh, that's a rough story. That's, you know, childhood sexual abuse is terrible. And so is racism. And what happened to my friend Charles was evil. He was beaten. And when I say beaten, he was paddled in front of our class, 4th grade class. And I didn't know why, and I don't think the rest of the class knew why. But come to find out many years later from another friend in the class, and I write about it in the book, that Charles was sent to the office because he was caught talking with this other friend in class.
That's it?
That's it. And but the other friend, the other child, did not have to go to the office.
Oh.
And
he didn't get hit either. Probably.
He didn't get hit either. The friend was white, and my friend Charles was black. And the principal brought Charles in front of the class and struck him 4 times in front of the class. And even though I try to catch the joy of life, I can still hear the evil of each one of those strokes, because it just made smack, 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 you know, and
especially at that age and in front of everyone.
Yeah. I can't remember what age I was in 4th grade, but 10, 9, I don't know.
Yeah, around 10 somewhere.
But that, I didn't know what to call it back then, but I knew it was wrong. I knew it was ugly. I knew it scared me. I knew I felt terrible for my friend Charles. And
you remember him crying?
Oh gosh. I don't remember him crying as much as I remember him screaming. In pain.
That's even worse.
From the first SWAT to the last one. And then I remember him crying. Yeah.
It must have been hard.
It was. And so that racism was another issue, that it was a part of the trauma that I, as a child, didn't know how to deal with, wasn't talking to anybody about it. And it was also part of what I had to overcome. Even though it did not happen to me, the trauma of watching that did happen to me. And it happened to my classmates. And I'm not sure my classmates have addressed it or gotten over it or, you know, healed from it. And I know that I'm sitting here with a bunch of Mexicans, and I'm not sure the United States is treating Mexicans really well these days because of
That's for
racism,
sure.
and I want to know why. Do we have a problem? Do you and I have a problem?
No.
No, I don't think we have a problem either. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this is the start of a beautiful relationship.
It sure is.
You know, but anyway, that's part of what it's part of what I've had to deal with. It's part of what my calling to ministry was. You know, it's not only the sexual abuse, the injustice of that, but also racism, the injustice of that I dealt with a lot in my ministry.
You have a question?
You are very raw about the groomers' backup tricks used against you. For our listeners, what were the silent warning signs in your behavior, like the slamming doors that you wish someone had noticed?
The silent warnings of my abuser?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, my abuser was much larger than I was, even at a small age.
Yeah.
He was much larger than I was. But even as we grew older, he still, quote, towered over me. And so that was a silent threat, just his size. I can remember there were moments of when I could just feel his eyes, you know, just looking at me, just glow, you know, just glaring at me. So those were some of the silent warnings.
What about yours?
Well, my family will tell you I wasn't really that silent because I was always loud, but they didn't hear what I was loud. They didn't ever ask, why are you so mad? Why are you screaming? They just thought I was, as I say in the book, they just thought I was a hothead when I was slamming the doors, because I used to slam doors. But I wasn't slamming doors because I was a hothead. I was slamming doors because my abuser would lock the doors when the events took place. And that is why I would slam the doors, because I would say, I like your hand. I would say, don't you know what's going on? Would somebody unlock the door? So even today, I don't like locked doors in my house. I don't allow them.
So how do you find balance between creating a safe space or accidentally creating a prison of your own?
Oh gosh. Now that's a nervous question. How do I find balance? Well, I think the balance has come from knowing that I don't have to allow people in my life if I feel like they are going to abuse me, if they are going to attack me in some way, you know, if they're going to do something that I don't like. So that creates a safe space. As far as in my ministry, they have this wonderful thing in our ministry called safe gatherings. They used to call it safe and sacred spaces. And they would teach us, if you are counseling someone and you happen to be in a one-on-one situation, and you go into your office, meaning the pastor's office, leave the door open. Never close the door, because that protects you,
Mhm.
and it also makes the other person feel
Feel
safe
Yeah.
because they know that if they feel uncomfortable, they can get up and walk out at any time.
Mhm.
And I always tried to create that space in my ministry. I may not have been successful at it, but I always tried to create that space because I always remembered the uncomfortableness
Mhm.
of a closed door. If 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 the person wanted to close the door because they wanted a private conversation,
Mhm.
I would always have somebody on the other side of the door, like a secretary
Mhm.
or somebody, or even I say, would you mind if I invited somebody in to this conversation?
Mhm.
And sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. But there was always that open dialogue to make sure they knew I was trying to make that space as safe for them as I was for making the space safe for me as well.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because unfortunately, we know that abuse can happen anywhere. Anybody can abuse, and it takes all of us to be aware and to try to make our community as safe as possible, because even abuse even happens in churches, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we have to all take responsibility. I know it's pretty heavy.
Lily?
You transitioned from a world-class opera singer to a pastor. Do you feel like you were performing in the pulpit early on, or did the fourth wall finally come down when you started serving others?
Yeah, that fourth wall came crashing down when I went to seminary. I mean, I'm telling you, it was like, boom, Jesus got a hold of me and said, okay, we got to have a one-on-one. We have to have a come to Jesus moment here, because you've been hiding behind that fourth wall for way too long. And so, yeah, when I went into the ministry, and here's the wonderful thing about it, because Jesus knew once that fourth wall came crashing down. I talk about it in the book. It was like the Berlin Wall. You know, it was like the Iron Curtain, because I would not let anybody behind that fourth wall. But then all of a sudden, Jesus said, "Come on, let's tear that puppy down, because there's a heart in there. There's a heart behind there. I need to release." And so when that wall came down, yeah, Jesus said, "Now let's put some gentleness into that life of yours." And so uh, the performing was great, and it protected me. It gave me a safe space, but there was just something about, when that wall came down, it was a relief, But here's the thing. At the very beginning, and I don't get too far away from it, but at the very beginning, I know I sound like a crazy person sometimes, but at the very beginning, it was kind of like Jesus was saying, okay, now you walk behind me for a little while, because I'm going to be your fourth wall. I'm going to be your fourth wall for a little bit. Now, you're going to get stronger. You're going to get better. You're going to heal a little bit, but I want you to walk behind me. And then, as I got a little stronger and started to, get a little bit more sure of myself, every once in a while, I'd take a step out from behind Jesus, and then all of a sudden I'd get scared. And Jesus would say, come on back over here. Come on back over here. You ain't ready to walk by yourself. So I had to learn that lesson too. So, but Jesus, and I know that my faith in Christ is that new fourth wall, which I rely on all the time now.
The subtitle mentions uncovering a treasure. Is that treasure a specific piece of knowledge, or is that piece you have found in community?
Specific piece of knowledge, or I think I can say honestly that it is a bit of both. It is definitely the knowledge of coming to know God and what God has done in Jesus and my faith. So I that the knowledge of that. So I know it is a piece of getting to know some of that knowledge, but it also has to be, it has to include that community as well, because in the book you will hear me talk about the communities that were so influential in my life, especially the faith communities. Bonner Springs United Methodist Church and Bonner Springs itself. When I started that faith journey, my seminary, excuse me, it's not my seminary. I don't own anything, but St. Paul School of Theology became a rich learning ground for me. I talk about my father in faith, Dr. Young Ho Chun, in the book. And I talk about lots of people in the book who were influential in guiding me. And, when I came to Emporia, I mean, I had a blast down at Grace United Methodist Church, which was community. I mean, truly, it became community. Chuck and Lori Torres, who were members down there while I was there, I did everything that I thought God was calling me to do. And we addressed the issue of racism by hiring an African-American female to be the pastoral assistant. She is now an ordained elder in the United Methodist Church.
Oh, wow.
Earl Williams is now, do you know Earl Williams?
I know him.
Do you know Earl? He's now preaching in Topeka, and when he came, I said, Earl, why aren't you preaching? Your wife is preaching. And he'd say, oh no, Pastor Mick, that's not me, that's Kathy's thing. And he's now preaching. And so they came down there, and then we addressed that issue. We brought the Hispanic community in there because Earl had his basketball team, and he brought the basketball team. It looked like the hood, walking into a white church down there. It was so wonderful. And I mentioned Chuck and Lori Torres, and Chuck and Lori Torres, they said, when we went to Grace, it was like Camelot, because it was such a loving and giving community. And so it's knowledge and community. At the same time, I also know that I also know that without being disparaging, I also know that sin still exists. And I know that I still have to have Jesus, no matter how loving that community is, and no matter how many people I surround myself with, Jesus has to be that fourth wall. And it goes for them as well, because I don't know, I can get pretty testy some days, and I can get pretty mean-spirited, unfortunately, because something on the news or something,
we're human after all.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll pick a scab, and I'll get a little testy. And so I need somebody to say, hey, Mick, calm down. So anyway, It's all that. So did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
So you've taken many roles like singer, pastor, and now the PETA guy in politics. What is your battle cry for the people of Emporia who are still struggling with their own rotten memories?
Oh, battle cry. Should I explain the PETA guy?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to put that to the side a little bit because it's I don't mind the acronym, but PETA guy, it stands for pain in the ass guy, and I don't mind being a pain in the ass sometimes. I know it gets old with some people, but sometimes somebody has to say something in such a way that it lights a fire under people.
Yeah, sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you have to say something, and sometimes you have to say it in such a way that's going to tick somebody off, and that's what. And even though I believe Jesus was the most loving entity ever to set foot on planet Earth, I think that he could say things to tick people off. And otherwise, why would they crucify him?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would they not love him? But he must have said some things, to make people angry. So anyway, I don't mind being the PETA guy. What else did you ask me in that thing? I lost my train of thought there, talking about the PETA guy.
What is your battle cry for the people of Emporia who are still struggling with their own rotten memories?
Well, if you have rotten memories, especially if you're dealing with your own, and it may not be sexual abuse. It truly may not be. It may just be that you feel like you're being persecuted because of, the way people look at you, the way people treat you, the way that our society. Again, I know I'm sitting here and I'm talking to basically a Hispanic community on this radio broadcast. I know that I am doing that, and I know that right now the Hispanic community is not really being treated well. And I can only apologize as one white man, and that doesn't make up for the wrong that is going on in our society. And I cannot say anything that will make it better. I will tell you this, that the only way I made it through my sexual abuse and my own persecution because of that was finally coming to my faith, coming to the understanding that there is a God that wants the best for me. And I believe with all my heart that God wants the best for everybody, not just white people, not just brown people, but everybody. I think God wants the best for everybody. And if there's one piece of advice I can give for all of anybody who's going through their past traumas, their past, whatever it is, grab a hold of your faith, grab a hold of that root that will keep you grounded, no matter if you're getting knocked down or if you're being lifted up. Hold on to that faith so that you can just survive today. It may not make you survive tomorrow, but maybe it just makes you get through today.
One day at a time.
One day at a time.
That's deep, man. Lily?
If that 4-year-old boy singing Jingle Bells could see you now, what would he say to you?
What would he what?
What would he say to you?
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I'm not sure he'd say anything. I think he would just smile. But if he did say something, he might say, "You want?" God, I'm gonna cry. You want to sing it with me? Let's do a duet. Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey.
Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey.
There you go. There you go. My people, we're out of time, but what a masterclass Pastor Mick has given us today. We're living with the powerful phrase, God loves you, and so do I. Sometimes
so do I.
we spend our lives building walls to keep from being hurt, but today we learned that true freedom is tearing them down and owning our truth. Lily, thank you for being here and for that sharp perspective. Mick, thank you for your bravery and for reminding us never too late to catch that Mickey inside of us. If you want to learn more, via chasingmickey.org or grab the book on lulu.com.
Lulu.com.
If people can contact you, where would they contact you?
Yeah, you can contact me on my Facebook.
Here on Facebook.
Mick McGuire, yeah. Mick McGuire.
So we'll tag you. We'll tag you on the comments.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanna like? Final words you wanna say?
Yeah. Just if you are experiencing abuse or have experienced abuse, I think you're probably some of the strongest and bravest people still living today. And I'm going to encourage you to take the next step. No matter how scary it is, but I'm going to ask you to remove yourself from that place and find a safe space. SOS has an 800 number that you can call. I don't have it.
We'll put it on there.
On in my brain, but they have an 800 number. It is a private. It's confidential, and you can call them. Because once you take that step, you are ready to move from being a victim to a survivor. And once you move from being a survivor, once you're a survivor, you are ready to thrive. And once you can thrive, you're going to know what life is all about again. And you're going to find that joy, pure and holy. And maybe you'll join me in singing Jingle Bells the next time.
There you go. There you go. So here's the book, Chasing Mickey. We're going to put all of the links here in the comments. So make sure you follow Mickey. We follow Mike, Rick. Make sure you follow it. Thank you once again, big guy. Always a pleasure working with you.
Man.
Likewise, always a pleasure working with you. We hope to see you on the next. When is your book release on Bonner Springs?
Monday we're having a book launch in Bonner Springs on Monday the 18th.
Monday 18
from 6:30 to 8.
From 6:30 to 8
at the Bonner Springs Public Library.
Okay, Bonner Springs Public Library is the date. Make sure you save the date. Bonner Springs Library. We're gonna have the book release.
That's a book launch.
Book launch. So there you go, my people. This has been Sin Censura exclusive interview with Mick McGuire, with myself, DJ Mostro, and Lily. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one. Share. Make sure you share.
Peace out.